Hertha Berlin finished bottom of the Bundesliga in the 2022-2023 season, so they will be playing in the German second flight next season. And thanks to some amazing mods that are out there available on Football Manager, that is exactly where I can pick up their story in terms of this rebuild. They have won the German top flight 2 times, and they now find themselves in the second tier. Today, we will be rebuilding Hertha Berlin. As I can show you in game, we are in game right now. We are starting the Bundesliga 2 season, or second Bundesliga. I've definitely butchered this before, so I'm not going to carry on saying that. The second tier of German football is exactly where we are, and this is a division that Hertha really just shouldn't be in. They've got a fantastic stadium, they've got fantastic facilities. We are predicted to finish in first this year, and obviously things are going to be very, very interesting for us. As you can see, 2-time winners of the German top flight, 1930, 1931, so quite a long time ago. I think winning a Bundesliga title would probably be beyond me, but if I can get them consistently back in the European places, I think that would be very, very good. So let's dive in and take a look at some of the stuff that has happened. Obviously, we are in this second season as things would look in game. We've had to get rid of a couple of our players because some of the guys wanted to leave. Obviously, as you would expect with a team getting relegated, that has happened here. So Alexander Schwolo has gone to Middlesbrough. He's gone over to play in England. Obviously a decent goalkeeper, but he is 31 years of age, the German. He's gone, and the big one, Lucas Toussaint, has gone to Lille for 6.25 million. Probably the best centre midfielder in this team, 26 years of age, 6'1". As I said, probably the best centre midfielder in this team. He has gone. We have signed Fabian Ruiz, which is a free transfer from Holstein Kiel. I believe that is one that is already set up in game, and we've had a couple of other players leave on loan. So let's, first of all, we need a good tactic for this today. So if we head on over to the tactics screen, we are using 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 Master of Puppets. I will always leave a link to the tactic that we use down in the description below, so please do go and check it out. It is a very, very good tactic. It's a 4-3-3. It's my favorite 4-3-3 of the tactics that G has put out this year. So if we quick pick without restriction our best 11, you can see some of these players have come back in from loan. Alderete has come back in from loan. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 has come back in from loan. So actually, our team's pretty good, like as you would expect. Christensen's good. We've got John Joe Kenny at right back. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, Alderete, Mittelstadt is actually a very, very good left back. I actually haven't seen this guy previously, but he's a very good player, and he's wanted by Hoffenheim, and he's upset with the sell of Toussaint as well. So this is going to be an interesting season if I can keep hold of him. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 comes in as the good CDM. 𝘼𝙗𝙪 is now our best central midfielder. 𝘼𝙗𝙗 is there. 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪, definitely butchered that. Reese, and then Stevan Jovetic, journeyman. Absolute journeyman. I still think he's got a bit about him. He does only have 10 pace though, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does and how he can impact this team in a positive way. If we go into the competition tab, this is how we're looking for the season. Obviously, we are in the second tier. We do have the Pokal. The board are actually wanting me to get to the quarterfinals of the German Cup, which I think is a step beyond for a team in the second tier, but they are expecting promotion by winning the league. It smells like promotion. Well, I hope it does. If we go into the season preview, we're the best team in the division. Obviously, this rebuild isn't going to be down to the first season. We are the best team. Obviously, Schalke got relegated as well in this particular instance. Hamburg are a big team who are still down here because obviously the playoffs haven't happened at the time of recording and at the time of setting this game up. But the Media Dream 11 is basically our entire team minus 2 players. We are predicted 1 to 10 to win the division. Let's go see if we can get the job done. So guys, before we get into season number 1 and finding out how we did in the second tier of German football, if you do like the rebuilds, I ask you to hit that like button down below. It really does help out the channel, and consider subscribing if you are new around here, picking up a video for the very first time. Anyway, that's enough of the begging. Let's dive into the rest of the video. We did manage to get ourselves promoted. as champions. However, I will be honest, it definitely wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. I really thought that we were just going to cakewalk the division. It was going to be relatively straightforward. Turns out we actually had a very big fight on our hands. There's 3, 4 teams, 5 teams who actually scored over 60 points. We hit the top with 69. Hamburg get themselves promoted. They were on 68 as well. Arminia Bielefeld were on 65. Schalke on 64, so they stay in the division for another year. And Hanover were on 61 as well. So ultimately, we do get promoted. We almost choked it. We lost the last game of the season to Greuther Fürth, which is very disappointing, but we did go all the way to the semi-finals of the cup. But I will say our run relatively straightforward. Hamburg in the second round, Bochum in the third round, Union Berlin, which obviously they have qualified for the Champions League in real life, probably have other priorities. We beat them in the quarters, and then we get to Eintracht Frankfurt, who beat us in the semi-finals. So ultimately, getting to the semi-finals is an unbelievable achievement, but I did need to call in some reinforcements. So if we go into the transfers tab, so I can talk to you about some of the players that we have brought in. Now, I have done some business, guys. We've basically gone out and signed some players. We've had a lot of players go in and out. Obviously, you can see the transfers on the right-hand side. But I needed to go out and get some reinforcements for this season. And I feel like I did that in a very good way. Nelson Viper comes in. If you've not seen this guy, elite tier striker coming out of Germany. He is currently a Mainz player. We got him on loan with an option to buy. Where is his option to buy? Minimum fee release clause is 4.7 there. Optional future free 4.8. So they fleeced me for 100k. I didn't realize that, but we will be activating this because Nelson Viper comes in as our new striker. We are going to be trying to restructure a few things in terms of our defense and how we line things up. So Dennis Seaman comes in to be our new goalkeeper. 18 years of age, 6'4". This guy's an absolute tree, and I love him in this game. He is fantastic. But the strengthening did not stop there. We needed an elite tier winger as well, and we went out to Chelsea and picked ourselves up Datro Fofana because he wasn't playing for Chelsea. We basically got him in for dirt cheap, and he was very, very good for us as well. I'll show you a couple of these players' stats and how they got on in the season after. And then I went and signed my guy Alex Scott as well, because we actually had loads of money being in a Bundesliga team last season. We still had lots of money, and I've sold a couple players as well. So we had a lot of money. I will say a lot of this is installments for Alex Scott, but Alex Scott comes in, the Bristol City player, because I am a Bristol City fan. So he comes in, and this is how the team was looking, obviously. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 wanted to leave, so he's gone to Rayo Vallecano. So you can see we raised 12.25 million, and then a lot of this is installments for Seaman and Alex Scott. So the team does look quite a bit different. If we go into the tactic, this is how I was pinning players. I was pinning 3 players after the January window: Viper, Alex Scott, and then Dennis Seaman. Nelson Viper, let's touch on him first and foremost. He got 14 goals, 14 assists in this first season, only 19 years of age. Very good player. We will be activating the clause to purchase him, which is going to be really good. I'm going to try and pick up Datro Fofana as well, but the team's looking really, really good. Was really, really happy with how they got on. If we have a look, Stefan Jovetic was the top goal scorer for us throughout the course of the season, though. 15 goals, 15 assists, but he is now leaving. FC23 have signed him on a end of contract. He is 34, not the player for me. Obviously, we will be signing Nelson Viper. Let's talk finances, though, going into the rest of the season. Obviously, I've spent a lot going into season number 2 already, but we've got 19.2 million to spend. So I think it's time to really, really strengthen this team. I'm not really sure what I need. I just need better quality bodies into the team. Maybe let's start at centre back. Let's see what happens for season number 2. So more changes actually for season number 2. On the screen right now, you should be able to see the transfers that we have made. Oliver Christensen, our backup goalkeeper, who started the season and ultimately got replaced by Dennis Seaman, has now gone. He has gone to AC Milan for £3.3 million. Wilfried Kanga's gone to Gladbach as well. We're basically kind of trying to streamline the squad just a little bit. Obviously, you can see I've spent 56 million here. A large portion of that, again, is on one player. I will talk about them in a second. We did activate the clause for Nelson Viper. He comes in for £4.7 million. He is now our striker. Looking forward to him doing damage for us, moving things forward. I'll talk about the real expensive one in a sec. Marling Sarr comes in from Chelsea, £2.9 million. I think it's time to rejuvenate some of the Chelsea boys' careers. And we're going to start with Marling Sarr. I'm never going to get a game at Chelsea, so we'll bring him into play in our centre-back positions. He looks very, very good. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 𝙗𝙪 is how I'm going to butcher this Czech Republic international's name. He looks very good as well. Baby-faced assassin is what I'm going to call him. A central defence midfielder, nice high stamina, good work rate, good balance, bravery and stuff like that. He is going to be my ball winner effectively. That's not the role I use, but that he is going to be the ball winner for us. I think he's going to be a very good upgrade in that position. 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪 is a player that I've never heard of before, but actually looks fantastic. 6 foot tall, 23 years of age, coming out of Holland. High jumping reach as well, nice high heading attributes as well, good solid positioning. He came in from FC20 for 10 million quid. Saviour Godwin comes in as a winger who can play on both sides. Again, versatility, being able to play on both sides, fantastic for me. Big fan of that. And then I spent big on this man. £31.5 million on Jeremy Doku. Now, that is lots, and I understand that it's lots, but I have a feeling he could go on to be an absolute monster for this team. High pace, high flair as well, nice high dribbling attributes as well. I really think this guy can go on to the next level. We picked him up from Rennes, of course, and I think he could go on to be a fantastic player for us, to be honest, and he can play as a striker should we need to. So if we go into the tactic, these are the players that I'm going to be pinning again. Seaman Scott and Viper. Obviously, Alex Scott, my boy, hoping he can tick on to be the 180 potential that he is now after the winter update. But he looks very, very good as well, and this is how the rest of the team will look. If we were to quick pick the unpicked restricted players, this is how the team would look. So Seaman in goal, Kenny at right back, Hilgers, Mitchelstad, Krejci, Scott, Serdar, 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪, I'm going to butcher so many of these names, Godwin, and then Nelson Viper up front. That's how the team's going to look. We're still pretty young going into the Bundesliga season, so I think we can hopefully do okay. The board want us to reach the quarterfinals of the Pokal again, and their expectation for the Bundesliga is mid-table. Obviously, Bayern have continued to win. That is no real surprise there. If we go into the season preview, we are predicted to finish in 12th, guys, so not the end of the world. Hamburg, who did get promoted as well, they're predicted to finish in 15th, so I'm hoping we can kind of basically do exactly as we are expected. If we finish in 12th, that's kind of a mid-table. I'm happy with it. Let's run things forward. Jude Bellingham still here though, but Bayern have bought Victor Osimhen, so it's going to be a fun season number 2. Season number 2 with Hertha was very, very interesting. Things took a little bit of a turn. On screen is the competitions tab, and we finished inside the top 4. We finished inside the top 4 pretty comfortably as well, ahead of Eintracht Frankfurt. We finished on 68 points. They had 60, the team below us. We were battling out with Leipzig and Dortmund. Bayern, again, well clear at the top of the league. I don't know what to say, guys. We started ropey. We lost the first game of the season, as you can see here, down in 17th. And then we just started to pick it up and just ticked on nicely all the way up into 4th. And then we've been 4th for a long period of time as well. In terms of the Pokal, pretty disgraceful. Knocked out by Wolfsburg in the second round. Board weren't very happy with that. But we overachieved expectation in the league, so it's not the end of the world. Nelson Viper is the main reason for us doing that. Man scored a lot of goals, 18 goals for him in that step up from the second tier to the top tier. 18 goals, 6 assists in 34 appearances. Again, looks like his development is coming along nicely. Seems like a much more consistent player now, which is good. And I'm hoping he kind of goes on from strength to strength next season. Ultimately, though, guys, very, very happy with how this looked. If I show you some of the results here, obviously we lost the first game of the season to Bayern, then we lost to Freiburg, and I was thinking, oh no. Had 2 games, didn't score a goal. I thought this was going to be a tough time, but then we started picking up some results. Losses to Dortmund, kind of expected. Wolfsburg away, there's Wolfsburg in the cup as well, and then, as I said, we started to pick things up. Bayern and Freiburg, did we play them? Yeah, we played the exact same set of fixtures in the same order. That's so lazy, SI. Lost to Bayern, lost to Freiburg again, and kind of ran through the same set of results. So, you know, if you play the same teams in the same order, you can kind of expect the same sorts of things. So we finished the season strong despite a loss to RB Leipzig there. And ultimately, the team is coming out really, really nicely. Dodi is looking fantastic, actually, on this right-hand side. A player that I've never really backed previously in FM saves, but he looks very good this time around. High pace, high dribbling. He's basically Jeremy Doku, who I spent lots of money on. So
wanted by Leeds United, so that'll be interesting to see. But ultimately, I think the team has done really, really well here. Obviously, kind of overperformed qualifying for the Champions League in season number 2, having just been promoted last season. If we go into the finances tab, we've got 60 million. I love managing in Germany. It is so much fun. The money's great. You can register anybody you like. It is just absolutely exceptional. And our financial status is only okay with 74 mil in the bank, which is crazy. We've got a wage budget of 1.4 million, almost 1.5 million, so it's got me about 600k in wage budget as well. So let's go spend all of this German cash. So then, guys, transfers for season number 3 are in, and we've spent some money again. Huge surprise, right? And this is the business that we've been able to do. On the outgoings, the main notable one is Piatek has gone to Nottingham Forest on a free transfer. Again, not really a striker that I like. Obviously, he's not going to play ahead of 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. So yeah, he's departed the club on a free transfer. But on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see some of the business that we've done. Now, there's a lot of money that I've spent here, but let's talk about the cheaper ones first. Stefan Ortega comes in, obviously Man City's FA Cup winning goalkeeper. At the time of recording, Man City have won this FA Cup. He was in goal for it, so fair play to him. Man City let his contract expire in game. Experienced German. I thought he was perfect fit to be the deputy to Dennis Seaman for our team, so he comes in on a free transfer. We've gone out into the loan market again. Dastro Fofana is back at the club. There we go. That's how he's looking now. He's now back. He spent another year on loan in Germany at a different team. He's now back with us for season number 3. And we've got an option to buy him as well, actually. If I go and have a look at his contract, you can see we've got an optional future fee of 16.25 million. If he performs like he did last time, I will probably be buying him. He went on loan to Frankfurt last season, didn't really play as much as he probably should have done. And I'll be hoping to push him on a little bit more. The next player that we signed, Paul Vanner, on loan from Bayern Munich. Yes, they are still loaning teams in division. And the main reason is we've got an optional future fee on him as well. 11.75 million pounds. Yes, we'll pay Bayern some money, 1.7 million pounds to have him on loan, but then the option to buy him. Paul Vanner is a fantastic footballer in this year's game. He spent last season on loan at St. Etienne, which was in Ligue 2. So now it's a step up to the Bundesliga for him. We have the opportunity to buy him. 2 players Premier League viewers will be aware of. Max Aarons comes in from Norwich City. He looks exceptional this year, actually, genuinely. Fantastic physical abilities, decent mental abilities as well. Technically not as good as I'd like in some of the passing and crossing areas for an attacking fullback, but looks great for me. And 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 comes in from Southampton, 16 pace on a centre-back who's got 17 jumping reach and is 6'3", and he's the German international. Yes, please. Now, the reason I spent high on these 2 boys, obviously, Norwich and Southampton were relegated from the league in-game. So their relegation release clauses were active, and I thought they were too good to turn down. So I spent all my money on 2 players, again, to improve our defense. So if we go in quick pick without restriction, our best 11, this is how the team is looking, guys. So Dennis Seaman is now in goal. He's actually producing quite a lot of good things, actually. He looks fantastic. Age just 19 here. Really looking forward to seeing him take the next step. Aarons, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, Mittelstadt, Craigie, Scott, Serdar. Vanner is coming in on the right, Fofana on the left, and 𝘼𝙗𝙪 up top. Now, I will say Jeremy Doku is frustrated because he wants to play more. This move just really hasn't worked out. It's very rare that I spend 330 million on a player and then 105k a week on a player that doesn't work out, but this one really hasn't worked out. 9 appearances for him last season, mainly as a substitute. No goals, no assists. Relatively disappointing. But that's the team going into season number 3. In terms of the competition, so we've added the Champions League to our competitions tab this year, and we'll be looking to push things forward. Quarterfinals, expectation of the Pokal. Champions League, just be competitive. We are entering in that league phase. And then in the Bundesliga, the board want us to finish inside that top half. If we take a look at the season preview, this is how things are looking. Bayern still predicted to finish top. We are now predicted to finish 4th with the squad that we have. And that is, again, the goal that we will be trying to do. Consolidate in that European place, get that more Champions League money, give me another summer to sign some beasts, and then season number 4, I want to take on Bayern for this title. Let's see how season 3 gets on though. Season number 3, very impressive again from Hertha Berlin. We actually did go on to improve upon last season massively, in my opinion. We finished 3rd inside the Bundesliga, and we're also runners-up in the Pokal as well. Bayern Munich go on to win the title on goal difference this time. They beat RB Leipzig out by 15 goals. Both on 77 points. We finished the season on 75. We drew our last game of the season against Bayer Leverkusen. If we'd have won, we'd have been in that party as well. We wouldn't have won because our goal difference was poor, but a 3-way tie at the top of the league would have been very, very interesting. In the Champions League, we got to the knockout rounds where we took on Dortmund and ultimately lost 3-2 on aggregate. We lost away comfortably and then beat them 2-1 at home. Youssoufa Moukoko, you've seen him before. He is very good. He is very good, the age 21. We kind of dominated this game, but didn't get enough to overturn that aggregate score from the first leg. So unfortunately, we departed the Champions League at the knockout stage. If I just show you guys some of the fixtures that we did have in the Champions League, you can kind of see where we're at. You can kind of see in the league phase. So we drew with Sturm Graz, we beat Monaco, lost to Atletico Madrid, lost to Arsenal, beat Everton. Don't ask me why Everton are in the Champions League. PSV, we drew with them, beat Roma, drew with Porto, and then there's the 2 games there against Dortmund, which is relatively disappointing, but it is what it is. And in terms of the Pokal, let's have a look at our Pokal run-in as well, because this was very interesting as well. If we go into the Pokal, you can see this team, I'm not even going to try and pronounce. We beat them 10-1 in the opening round in the first round. Sandhausen beat them, beat Dortmund, beat Holstein Kiel, beat Stuttgart, and then got to this final here where we took on Bayern Munich and we lose 2-1. Musiala opens the scoring on the 80th minute. Nelson Viper immediately retaliates with a goal in the 82nd, but Serge Gnabry scores 3 minutes later. We left it all until the end of the game, guys, and Bayern Munich lift the Pokal. Looking at the stats of the game, they were the better team. But their team's very good. Mamardashvili, Cancelo, Upamecano, De Ligt, Alphonso Davies, Kimmich, Goretzka, Gnabry, Musiala, Timo Werner, and Sadio Mane. And then the players that they brought on, Pavard, Alvarez, Leroy Sané, and Jeremy Frimpong. So a very, very good team for a very, very impressive run in the Cup. And again, Bayern go on to win the league, which is devastating news. I feel like we're close, though. 2 points away in the league campaign is very good. If we can cut out a couple more of those losses, I think we're golden. If we take a look at the finances going into season number 4, I've got another 60 mil, guys, and another 400k in the wage budget. As I said, the finances here are absolutely ridiculous in Hertha. And I'm really, really enjoying just kind of being able to effectively buy whoever I want. It's fantastic. It's a good fun. I would highly recommend Germany. Let's go see what we can do for season number 4. The goal for the transfer market going into season number 4 was to get better and close that gap on Bayern Munich. And I really think we've been able to do it with these additions. I mentioned last season that we had the 2 loan options for Datro Fofana and Paul Vanna. We have activated both of those. They come in for the respective fees that we agreed, 16.25 million for Fofana and 11.75 for Vanna. He comes in. Pedro Goncalves, an absolute steal, comes in from Sporting. He was free. I know, I can't believe it either. 28 years of age, comes in on a free transfer. We spent some money to improve at left back. Luca Netz, one of the highly touted German proteges for defending. 16 pace, 16 acceleration is fantastic for him. Supremely well-rounded at left back is Luca Netz. He comes in. He's Germany's under 21 left back, or he was. He's now 23, yet to play for the major first team. Aslani is a player that I've not used before. He was transfer listed by Inter Milan. He comes in, Albanian international, very well-rounded to play in the central midfield spots. I will touch on why. It's mainly because Alex Scott hasn't lived up to my potential that I wanted for him, which is devastating. And we signed this guy, Jan Uriel Bisek. He comes in as a central defensive cover, comes in as a squad player. Cameroon international, 6'4", high jumping reach. I think he will be very, very good as a cover player should we need him. Again, Jeremy Doku, I don't miss very often on transfers, but I've whiffed massively on this guy. Didn't even go out on loan last season. Tried to fire him out on loan, didn't go anywhere. He's gone to Levante this year in La Liga. It's a miss, guys. It's just a miss. As I said, I feel like I don't do them very often in these rebuilds, but that's a hell of a whiff on Jeremy Doku. If we quick pick without restriction our best 11, this is how the team is looking right now. Dennis Seaman, Max Aarons, 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪, 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪, Nets, Scott, Vanna, Aslani, Fofana, Goncalves, and Viper. I am really happy with this team. We're solid at centre-back. 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪 is a beast. He's currently wanted by Bayern, of course. And Bayern also want 𝘼𝙗𝙗𝙪 alongside Atalanta, Betis, and Rennes. Which is not going to happen for starters. But this is the team, and I'm really happy, and I really think we can push this year. Like, if Alex Scott is one of my worst rated players, I'm okay with that. If we go into the competitions tab, obviously we have the same three as always: the Pokal, the Champions League, and that Bundesliga. But the board expectation now is to qualify through for the Europa League via the league. Obviously, we want to continue in that Champions League and ultimately push Bayern and this dominance that they have here. If we take a look at the season preview, some teams have gotten better. Wolfsburg and Bayern Leverkusen are now predicted to finish 4th and 5th respectively. Bayern are 1 to 3 to win the title. Leipzig actually look like a very good team in this one as well. So lots of competition that we've got here. Hopefully we can push things forward for season number 4 and really challenge Bayern. I just want someone to win the league that isn't Bayern Munich. So season 4 is done and dusted as well, and we've picked up a bit of silverware because we are the DFB Pokal champions in season number 4. And it's good that we had some success towards the end of the season because our league form was dog water. We were so bad. We were in a bit of a title race with Bayern Munich, and then if I show you our season form towards the end of the year, it was just woeful. Lost to Leverkusen, then we lost to Bayern, lost to Leipzig, lost to Bochum as well. It's just really poor. Drew with Hoffenheim, just absolutely took a nosedive off the cliff. You can see we were top for some points of this season, and yeah, we just really fluffed it. Maybe it's because our team's quite young, I'm not really sure. Knocked out in the round of 16 of the Champions League by Tottenham, 4 goals to 2 on aggregate. We won the game in Germany and then took it back to Tottenham and got pumped, which is disappointing. Karim Konate, Oliver Skip, Fratesi and Lazari getting the goals. Harry Kane did start. He is old now though, 33 years of age for Harry Kane. Goncalves with the goal for us. But let's talk about the happy times. At the DFB Pokal, we get to the final. We take on RB Leipzig and we win 1-0 thanks to Nelson Viper, our goal scoring machine. This guy is essentially the best striker in the division. I think it's between him and Moukoko. He's currently wanted by Inter Milan, Milan, so AC Milan and Napoli. The Serie A highly coveting my star striker. Looking at him though, 39 goals in all competitions, 23 and 28 in the Bundesliga. It's his best goal scoring return, best average rating return as well for Nelson Viper. He is a stud, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do with him. I will be keeping hold of him for sure. Top goal scorer, highest average rating. Fofana and Vanna, the two lads who come in are after their loan spells, both getting 10 assists as well. Dennis Seaman continues to be exceptional. 18 aerial reach, high communication as well. Good rushing out tendency, 19 jumping reach. He's just really good. He's just really good and really big.
What do you mean by that?
That's going to get clipped, isn't it? Excellent. Ultimately, season 4 went fantastically well. If we take a look at the finances, another 50+ million to spend on players again. We'll just keep chucking money at it until we ultimately catch up with Bayern. I'm not sure if it's going to happen because they are very good. Leipzig are very good as well. But let's see what we can do for season number 5. So before we get into season number 5, this is the point of the video where I ask if you are still watching this video to comment something down below to let me know that you are still here. And I did it recently on my Nantes rebuild. I asked for a specific comment. If you have seen that, then I'm sure you're going to know what I'm going to ask for here. Anyone but Bayern. That is the objective for season number 5. Anyone but Bayern to win the league. So that's why I want you to comment down below. Anyone but Bayern. Diving into the transfers for season number 5, we've spent big. Guys, we have spent big. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 𝙗𝙗 comes in. I've butchered that, from Feyenoord, the Turkish international. He looks fantastic. Another creative outlet for us in central midfield. Can play a number of positions as well. Nice little bit of a utility player. He comes in. Looks like a fantastic player. This is exactly the level that I thought Alex Scott was going to get to, and just sadly didn't get to it this time around. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 𝙈𝙚 is how I'm going to butcher this Frenchman's name. 23 years of age. He comes in from Salzburg. He starts at Salzburg. He definitely starts at Salzburg. He came in from Rennes. He looks very good. Very nice defensive option. And then Georges Lecano comes in. Young player coming out of the Colombian league. I definitely need to update my face pack, because this is the new gen face pack, and this is still set up from my Versailles save, so definitely need to update it, because I would assume this is not what that man would look like. Players outgoing though, John Joe Kenny's gone on a free transfer, and Maximilian at Mittelstadt has gone to Dusseldorf as well. So the team is stacked going into season number 5, and if this isn't a team that can challenge Bayern, I don't know what is. This is the best 11. Dennis Seaman, Max Aarons, Bella Kotchup, Hilgers, Nets, Duarte is our DM now, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 alongside Aslani, Fofana, Goncalves, Viper. We're good. We've not really made massive additions here. 2 additions into the starting 11. We didn't want to rock the boat too much. Hopefully the Master of Puppets can guide me to a title. If we go into the competition stand, this is where we're at. We've got the Super Cup as well, obviously as Pokal winners last season, and then we'll be trying to defend the Pokal. Obviously we go into the Champions League, and then we do have the Bundesliga, where the board expectation is to qualify for the Champions League. If we take a look at the season preview, this is how we are looking. This is the best teams in the division. Bayern are still favourites, then Leipzig, then Dortmund, then us. So some interesting players have made it into the media. Dream 11 now. Hassan Odorego has now come in. He is now at Bayern Leverkusen, and Mohamed Kudus is here. He is now a Dortmund player. But looking at this front line for Bayern Munich, as you can see it here, their front line is now Vinicius Jr., Victor Osimhen, and Rafael Leao. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a massive problem for the rest of the division. So we're going to have to see what we can do here. St. Pauli are also back in the Bundesliga. Let's go, the boys. So let's see what happens. But that front 3 from Bayern, that's tasty. I feel that's got another Bundesliga title written all over it for them. I asked you to type anyone but Bayern, and it happened, boys. It was someone else. Bayern Munich did not win the Bundesliga in season number 5. We did. Yes, we are Bundesliga champions in season number 5. We win the league by 2 points. Bayern's goal difference far superior. We even drew on the last day of the season. But yeah, top of the league, loving it. Absolutely loving it. 27 wins, 3 draws, 4 losses in the Bundesliga. 84 points. Nelson Viper, top goal scorer for us. In the Champions League, we got to the round of 16 where we were knocked out by Manchester City. Just for lols, let's have a look at this Man City team. Yeah, they did beat us 2-0 at the Etihad, 2-0 at home as well. Ederson, Jean-Mario, Ruben Diaz, Laporte, Destiny Udogie, Calvin Phillips, Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Harvey Elliott, Phil Foden, and Alvaro Montero. So that's not Haaland came off the bench. So Man City did very, very well. They got to the semi-finals of the Pokal, where unfortunately we were defeated 1-0 by Bayern Munich. Obviously they do have a stacked team, but it was Joshua Kimmich who was able to get the breakthrough in the cup to send them through to the final, where they would have taken on Bayern Leverkusen. We did win the DFL Super Cup. We beat them 3-2 in the season opener. Fofana, Vanna and Goncalves with the goals for us. Joshua Kimmich and Serge Gnabry with the goals for Bayern. They were 3-0 down, but pulled it back to 3-2, and then we kind of weathered the storm at the end. But we got the job done. We got ourselves another trophy. The trophy cabinet was swelling, and now we've added that big bad boy Bundesliga shield to it, which is absolutely exceptional. I've been really, really happy with this rebuild. It's been a lot of fun because the finances have just been ludicrous. And if you, speaking of finances, 42 million if you did want to take over this save. I will post all the saves as I always do down in my Discord. And if you do like the rebuilds, guys, please check out this playlist. It's all the rebuilds we've done on FM23 so far.